the technical exercise to your music is a hard skill. Transcribing licks, adding them to your own playing and moving them around in other keys is a hard skill. Always keep working on your timing is a hard skill. We all have our own list of hard skills. These are the skills that takes us a long time to learn. But these are also the skills that really pays off to learn. The skills you will keep benefiting from in the long run. Number 1 on my list is practicing technique and integrating the technique into your playing. When you play Don't Sound Like a Technical Exercise, play music. I've always loved practicing technique, but adding them into my music, that my music sounds musical, that's a different story. Earlier, for me, technique and music were two different worlds. When I realized that technique and music belongs together and everything you practice as a technical exercise has to fit into your music, both music and technique made a lot more sense to me. One of the absolute best ways to find technical material you need to practice is listening to your heroes. This lick from Michael Brecker, Chromatic Approach Note to the Triads Down the Scale, is an amazing technical exercise and a super nice lick too. Keep your fingers on your horn, focus on your tone and your sound, and keep speeding up. Learning technical exercises to really high perfection is one of the hard skills you really need to learn. The second part of learning technical exercises is even harder, moving them into new keys. You have to invest oceans of time doing this. Start with the keys with a few flats and sharps. Then move on to the more difficult keys. On my Patreon you can download the full lesson subscription, more than 50 pages of exercises and licks in all 12 keys. And now add the technical exercise to your music like Mr. Brecker did. I begin by slowly adapting the exercise into a well-known progression, a 2-5-1 in C. And again, remember to add more keys to get versatile. Another really hard skill you'll come across is keep developing your licks. I developed the exercise into a double time lick and even added more keys. The D flat 7 is the key of F sharp. When you get further in this process, you really need all the 12 keys to your disposal. Repeat this process. Find great licks listening to your heroes. Turn them into basic technical exercises. Play them slow, get faster. Move this into more keys. Add them to your music. Develop. Transcribing licks, learn the tones and the rhythm, play the phrasing and the articulation is a major hard skill. On top of this one, another even harder skill is getting the licks into your playing. And again, moving them around in other keys that they get really flexible, that you can use them. Find great licks and transcribe them. A great tool to do this is the slowdown function on YouTube. Using any kind of slowdown function will really help you hearing the tones and hearing the articulation. Get the lick into your practice and start speeding up. Then move the lick into other keys. I've talked a lot about other keys now. Moving stuff around in other keys make you realize the connections between the sound, and this gives you other opportunities in other keys. It really opens up your hearing. All the licks from this lesson plus a bunch more are also transcribed in all 12 keys on my Patreon. The metronome is your friend. You always want to work on your timing. You want to have impeccable timing like these two guys. One of the hard skills is routinely always work on your timing. When you work on your technique, you can just as well add a metronome beat. Focus on playing as accurate as possible. Play around with how you use the metronome. 1 and 3, 2 and 4, on the 3 only. Remember to also add the metronome when you're practicing your licks. A really great way to practice timing is putting the metronome on the swing triplet and playing bebop themes. This will instantly boost your timing. The 8th note rhythm noted will look like this and sound like this. The most important thing here is challenge yourself. Go to the limits of what you can do. You need to invent new ways to stay focused on the time, to stay in that timing, but keep challenging yourself, keep making it more and more difficult. Practicing your time is a major hard skill to get into your routinely practice. How Chris Potter in this clip plays so rhythmical and so amazing phrasing. He leaves a lot of room for the band to engage with him. Chris Potter's actually having a conversation. When you speak, you do just not keep babbling. You need to breathe and you need to keep it interesting to make people listen to you. You need great phrasing. Training rhythm and phrasing in everything you play is a hard skill. Always challenge yourself. When you practice an exercise, you should always challenge the rhythm like Chris Potter did. Tweaking this exercise and adding more rhythm only makes it much more fun and much more interesting to play. The same goes for the earlier licks. Change the rhythm, change the phrasing, adding more of the double time element to it. Looking at this Chris Potter lick from earlier, I want to change the rhythm a bit. Adding a few triplet figures instead of the 8 notes, and adding a nice trill at the end. Developing all of these hard skills and getting these into your practice will really pay off in the long run. If you really like to get into this, I want to give you a head start. Go to my Patreon, download the lesson manual and find all the exercise and all the licks plus a bunch more to get you started on this. Get the best and fastest start possible. Check these 2 videos for more hard skills.